Well, look who finally decides to come back and do another episode on his own. That's right. Krim's taking over this episode, and nothing is going to stop me now. It's the episode before the final episode of Criminal's Deep Thoughts, so I figured, why don't I just make myself appear one last time? Only this time, it's different. I'm leaving as well. Leaving the show, leaving the projects, leaving everything. But I am not going out without one final blast. So of course, this episode is titled Krim's Final Pipebomb, and you better believe that I'm not throwing any punches this time. So, if you're not going to like what I'm about to say, good. That's what I'm going for this episode. Nothing's going to hold me back. Nothing's going to stop me right now. And I'm not wasting any more time. I'm going to get what I need to say, get it out of my chest, and be done with it. Plain and simple. So don't expect this episode to be 30 minutes long. This episode's going to be quick. And this episode is going to hurt. You could look at my face right now and see that I don't care. You know, my counterpart, he would want to take the high road. He would want to say things that, he doesn't want to hurt anybody. He doesn't think of what everybody else will think. He'll just sit there and say, well, he's going to do this. He's going to say that. I'm going to sit here and say whatever I feel like because it's going to be the best thing to say. And no one's going to take offense to it. Well, I'm not that person. You gotta understand that. I'm a completely different individual, and Krim does not take things too lightly, if you guys catch my drift. Whatever I say from the heart, and I speak my mind, because certain people won't stand up and say it themselves. Hint. So I have to take over. And of course, thanks to him, I have a cold now, and I'm sitting here with his little stuffy nose. Great. Now I'm stuck with it. So you guys are going to be stuck with it for the episode too. Just letting you know now. He wrote down a couple things that I should talk about and how I feel about certain things, and I'll give him that. If there's one thing that I know that he's good at making ideas, and he's good at putting things down on paper. But that's about it. So, let me get comfortable. And let's get this started. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the whole deal with sports. Granted, there are some aspects of me that like sports. Okay? But some people out here make me sick. You guys claim to like your certain teams and to say that you've been a fan for so long. Give me a break. Truth of the matter is, you guys have probably just started becoming fans not too long ago and decided to recently just jump on the bandwagon and say that you're a fan of these said teams. You know what? It makes me sick. The Miami Heat are not champions anymore. Good. I don't have to hear about it every single day now until next season starts. What's better about it is the fact that out of all this, the better team did in fact win. The Spurs were superior against Miami. Miami couldn't stop them. And if it wasn't for that little 2-point win that they got in Game 2, the Miami Heat would have been swept this year. Read it and weep, fellas and ladies. It's the truth. Now, Antoine's not going to say that. I will say it. The Heat played like garbage in the finals. And you honestly think I'm going to sit here and acknowledge the fact that they would win a third title in a row, even if they did? No, I'm not going to acknowledge it. You know why? Because it's not my place. I'm not going to sit here and praise a bad team. And for their sake, I hope they do opt out of their contract and go find something better. Because let's face it, the big three is done. It's over. It's tired. Do something else. Find something new. I will give a vote of confidence, however, to Carmelo Anthony. So if he's watching, I have a little bit of a message for you. Go wherever the hell you want to go. Just don't stay in New York. No, I don't care what anybody says about New York. I don't care what anybody says about the Knicks. Quite frankly, that team is definitely in the need for readjusting, revamping themselves. They need to do a serious reality check. They're not the big and bad team that they used to be. Okay? They're not. Now, wherever Carmelo goes, that's his decision, not yours. Phil Jackson, it's not your decision to make. Granted, you want to sit there and try to give him as many deals as you want, but it's not going to matter because at the end of the day, it's not your decision. It's Carmelo's decision. Whether he wants to go to Chicago, whether he wants to go to Denver, whether he wants to go to the Lakers, which they won't take him, which if he wants to go to Houston, if he wants to go to Dallas, that's his choice. Hell, he could go to Charlotte if he wanted to. He could surprise everybody. But again, it's his decision. Now, I'm done with basketball. Now we got the World Cup going on. And quite frankly, everybody is jumping on USA, Brazil. Everybody's jumping on Chile. I don't care about soccer. You guys know I hate soccer. I can't stand it. But at the same time, our country, the US of A, is still hanging on and still alive. And for that, I will follow it. But I will follow it until it is over for the U.S. Now, whether that happens in the round of 16, the Elite Eight, I don't care. Regardless, the U.S. is going to give it everything they've got until they are done. And when that happens, then I'll stop watching the World Cup because it'll be irrelevant to me from that point on. You guys want me to keep watching the World Cup? The U.S. better keep winning. That's all I got to say about that. And seeing the fact that they have to play at 11:30 in the fucking morning, which drives me nuts, because I have to get my ass up out of bed and I have to work that day at 11:30. So go figure. For their sake, they better win. They better win. Movies. You guys know I love movies. I'll go watch a movie or two. I don't care. Hell, I'm not the one paying for it. It's not coming out of my pocket. I don't pay for movies anymore. Antoine takes care of the movies. I just go in and watch it with him. So basically, he's paying for my ticket as well as his own as well because we're both one and the same person. But it doesn't matter because I get to go see movies. Now, I find it funny and I find it kind of sad that whenever I want to go to a movie and I try to invite people, they don't want to go. They make up some lame excuse to why they can't go. Or they simply just say, you know what? I don't feel like going out. You mean to tell me that after all this time, I finally get a chance to go out and enjoy myself and enjoy a movie, and I happen to personally invite you myself, and you don't want to go? Granted, if you have to work that night, I understand. That's a legitimate excuse. If you have to take care of somebody, if you're sick, that's a legitimate excuse. Don't sit there and say, oh, I'm going to the mall later, and I guess we'll hit you up at another time. Knowing you planned this 3 days in advance about going to the movie, and you actually texted me, messaged me, and talked to me about it. We planned this, and now all of a sudden, oh, I'm going to the mall, so I'm not going to go to the movies with you tonight. What kind of excuse is that? So now here I am, thinking, what do I do? Do I still go to the movie by myself and just sit there all alone, thinking, why the fuck am I here? Or do I just give you a mouthful of curse words to say, you know, screw you, we sat there and we planned this and now you're backing out on me? Well, that's fine. See if I invite you out again. There's no reason to make an excuse like that. Granted, you want to go to a movie, that's fine. If you don't want to go with me, that's fine too. Just tell me up front so I don't have to sit there and waste money on buying a damn ticket. That's right. The last movie I went to, I actually bought a ticket for somebody that was going to go with me, and they found out that they turned it down at the last minute. So I basically had to give up another ticket just so I wouldn't feel bad. Well, I already felt bad because it came out of my pocket and I had to sit there and end up paying for a ticket for somebody that didn't go. So the next time I decide to be generous and offer to pay for your ticket, you better go. Or it'll be the last time I invite you anywhere ever again. Plain and simple. And I hear people right now, oh, you don't do that to your friends? Well, you know what? I'm tired of it. You want to be nice to somebody, that's fine. You want to be nice and then somebody turn around and renege on it. That's like a slap in the face. So I'm not going to sit there and take that. Basically. Plain and simple. Done. I don't want to sit here and talk about this weather. I really don't want to talk about the weather because you guys already know here in the state of Florida, it's going to rain in the summertime. That's what we deal with. You guys don't want to deal with it. Oh, it's raining every day. I can't deal with this anymore. Grow some balls and shut up. It's Florida. And you obviously know we live in the lightning capital of the world. So deal with it. The only thing that I have a problem with is the fact that my counterpart has a serious fear of lightning. And whenever he gets freaked out, I get pissed. I'm like, dude, it's lightning. It's not going to get you unless you were walking outside with the 80-foot rod saying, here I am, lightning, strike me down. It's not going to get you as long as you're indoors. I understand that the fear really takes its toll on you. I get that. But dude, grow up. You're 31 years old. Scared of lightning. I can understand if you're 31 years old and you're scared of clowns. Clowns can be something to be scared of because it affects you at a young age. That's not... What do you say about that? You know, I'm 31, scared of clowns. Oh my God, it's a clown. What do? You punch it in the fucking face. That's what you do. Okay? Well, if you're at a circus, you can't do that, but you know what I mean. Lightning, bro? Really? Grow up. Scared of lightning. Now I gotta deal with it because of your stupid fear. Pathetic. Simply pathetic. Friends, listen up. I'm targeting you next. Some of you guys have actually been able to cope with the fact that my last topic is over and done with, and we've all moved on. You guys have been nothing but supportive, and I can understand that, and I thank you. But some of you guys need to realize that I'm not going to be pushed over anymore. I'm not going to be taken lightly anymore. From now on, whenever I have something to say, I'm going to say it. And you guys aren't even going to know if it's me or my counterpart that's going to say it. You just have to figure it out for yourselves. I'm sorry. But when shit goes down, either he needs to step up and say what's on his mind and what's in his heart, or I'm going to step in and say it for him. I don't care if he's mad at me at all. It doesn't matter to me because I'm not going to hold anything back. And I'm not going to hold anything back because that's not who I am. You guys know when I have something to say, I'm going to say it. Point blank, period. I'm not scared of anybody. I'm not scared of the consequences that are going to fall upon me. So what? You want to hate me? Hate me. I don't care. You want to talk about me behind my back? Go right ahead. That's fine. But it's not going to stop me from doing what I need to do and saying what I need to say. Plain and simple. So to all of you people out there that are friends, stand by his side. Help him, guide him, support him, no matter what it takes to make sure that he's happy again. Because I'm tired of seeing this depressing, selfless waste of space sitting here. Yes, I'm talking to you. Every day he comes home and he's just in a bitter, utter, just despicable mood, and I can't stand it. He's actually starting to make me look like a good guy. Because I'm the one that's sitting here talking to him. I'm the one that's giving him advice. And I'm the one that's sitting here telling him what he needs to do and what he doesn't need to do. Quite frankly, he needs to grow up, move on, and not worry about it so much. You guys are probably wondering what I'm talking about. Well, here's what I really wanted to discuss. And again, I'm not holding anything back anymore. This is it. My final pipe bomb, and it's about to go off right now. Now, you guys have realized that my counterpart was actually in a relationship for about a year, almost a year and a half. Okay? And whether you guys want to believe it or not, he was actually happy. He was actually happy, and I'm not going to sit here in front. I was actually happy for him. That was until the problem started. And I'm not talking about the relationship. I'm talking about him himself. You guys already know that he's dealt with a lot of pain over the years. He's dealt with a lot of issues over the years. He's dealt with a lot of discrepancies over the years. He's dealt with a lot of insecurities over the years. He's dealt with a lot of heartbreak. And I think it finally took its toll on him, because his worst fears actually came true. Now, during the course of a relationship, he started to notice that he had problems. Didn't know what it was. Didn't want to say anything. But he never had the money, or never had the time, or rather health insurance to figure out what the fuck was wrong with him. So he just tried to brush it off. Turns out, he was suffering from some issues. Okay? He was depressed all the time. But I think the real problem was, it was brought out of him, and he couldn't control it. Sad to say, but I think it's the truth. It was brought out of him, and no matter how many times he tried to control it, it only got worse. Now granted, again, he's dealt with a lot. But when you sit there and you try to control things and you try to make things work, no matter how tough, no matter how difficult things may seem, regardless of that fact, when you can't control something, the best thing you need to do is just sit down and walk away. Sit down or walk away. Sit in a chair somewhere, take a few seconds to breathe, relax, and get your mind off of things, and do things that'll help you get your mind off of whatever your issues are. I don't care what it is. You can sit down and watch a movie. You can sit down and play a game. You can sit down and talk to friends. You can sit down and listen to music. Do whatever you need to do to get your mind off of your problems. Because if you don't, it's going to consume you, and you're going to take it out on everybody that's in your vicinity. That was his problem. And because of that problem, his relationship took a huge downfall. And thus, ultimately, it ended. But not in the way you guys would think. He took it one step too far. And because of that, now he's not even welcome anymore. Even I looked at him and said, "You idiot. Why would you even think of doing something like that?" You guys are probably going to sit there and ask me what he did, right? I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. Because it's over and done with now, so there's no point to even bring it back up. The fact of the matter is, he's dealing with a lot right now. Yes, the relationship's over. And he could sit there and say that he's happy that the relationship's over, that he said that he's doing better now and everything is so much better now that it's over. He's free to do what he wants. He could do whatever he wants. He could say whatever he wants to say. He could go back to living the life the way he wanted to. That's not the case. And I've seen it with my own eyes. You have to realize what really is going on in this guy's brain. He's hurting every day. And it doesn't matter to the person that he was with, because they think he's a lost cause now. They're thinking, oh well, he lost it. It's whatever. You're unstable now, and you can't really control yourself. You know what? You might be right. He can't control himself. He may be unstable, but you know what? He's still a man, and he's still a human being. Now, whether you want to believe it or not, I actually feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him because the best things in his life were taken away from him. So what else does he have to live for, huh? He only has to live for himself now. And he realizes that. So what? He comes around on his little podcast show or whatever saying how better off he is now that the relationship's over. You know what he told me? I'll tell you exactly what he told me. He said that he felt in his heart of hearts that he was a free man now. He wasn't being controlled anymore. He wasn't the one that was going to be controlled in a relationship anymore, because every time he wanted to make a decision, it was turned down. And he didn't want it to end that way. But it did. And you know what? By judging what he's been through the last few weeks, I'd say he's been a better man for it. And it's obviously taking a toll for the better in his life, because now he's actually been able to control everything that he's been doing. He's been able to take care of himself. He's been able to take more responsibility for his actions. He's been able to make the right choices instead of making the wrong ones. He's actually going back to work, and he's doing a damn good job at doing his job. Believe it or not, this guy's making 35, almost 40 hours a week now, and no one is judging him for it. Now, you could sit there and say that you don't want to wish hurt on him or anything like that. You don't wish bad things to happen to him. But let's be real. You could care less about him at this point. You really could. And whether you want to sit there and say that you don't want to sit there and talk about it anymore, you don't want me involved anymore, but you can get your friends to sit there and scope on every move I make, right? Which is perfectly fine, because they'll be the first ones to see that he's actually doing something better with his life and actually moved on and actually been happy. So that's an A+ for him. Great. You want to see what's going on? Hey, talk to them. They'll tell you exactly everything that's going on, and he'll enjoy himself. And at the end of the day, the only person that's going to be left standing and laughing is this guy. So, do what you will. Do what you want. Blurt it out all you want to. Show off a little bit if you have to. If you want to show off and show everybody that, hey, I'm doing this now, this is the way it's going to be, then that's perfectly fine. Because the more that you show off, the more that I'm going to rub that, the more that I'm going to sit there and say, hey, they can be happy all they want to. But at the end of the day, he's going to be the one that's going to be happier. Think about it. Things have gotten better since it all went down. I am a firm believer of that. And I don't even like this guy. But I see the road that he's taking, and I realize that he's taking a step in the right direction. Hell, he's scaring me sometimes. But I know for a fact that once he's truly happy, and he's got everything all lined up, he's got his ducks in a row, he's got everything working for him, all his plans are finally starting to come together. I am hoping and praying that somewhere along the line he's going to get a phone call from that said person. And I want to see what his reaction is going to be. I want to see exactly what he says. And I want to see exactly what actions he's going to take. Because once the success kicks in, there is no hope for another chance. Granted, he might have messed that up. But he's not messing up his second chance at life. And he's definitely going to take it. He's going to grab it by the horns, and he's not going to let go. Again, at the end of the day, I agree with him. He is better off. Pipe bomb.